podcast you cheer for. Sneaker business talk. It's the Soul Material Podcast.
Welcome back, friends. It's the Soul Material Podcast. It's T-Mark the Street Shark.
And the OGEO.
All right, and we're back for another episode of the Sneaker Business Talk. So we're just going to break down the layers to some more sneaker business that's going on and give you that clarity over popularity because, you know, we're the podcast to cheer for. And we want to pat ourselves on the back a little bit, but just keep the momentum going because we've talked about this, but we told you before it happened. All right. So let's go back. We told you last summer in some sneaker signature shoe episodes, just talking about signature shoes and how they come about and maybe who's next. And now we told you who we thought was going to be next, who was going to be in line, but now it's official. And we're going to talk about none only than Ja Morant has his own signature shoe, the Ja 1. We've seen it. He's worn it on the court by now, and we know it's coming officially. So let's break down a little bit how we got here. OG, you want to kick it off for?
Definitely.
The backstory?
Definitely. And I think that our prediction came from the fallout with Kyrie Irving and his contract with Nike. And we're like, okay, fine. You need a guard. Usually guards are more popular than big men. You know, this is just what it is. They have the ball. They do a whole lot more. And who was deserving of a signature shoe, given the consistency, the lack of being in a big market, keeping his nose clean, so forth. And Ja Morant clicked all of the boxes. And what's interesting to me was, again, although he was the second overall pick, we all know that Zion went first. There was debate about if Ja Morant should have been the number one overall pick. So although he had a deal, for him to get this signature deal later than Zion, and not to make comparisons, but Ja's been on that court. There was talks about him being an MVP last year, on top of being improved player and so forth. And he got the signature shoe. I think it looks fabulous. Anything low top now is going to resemble something of Kobe's because everyone was just not only a fan of Kobe, but studied Kobe and so forth. And Ja would tell you that Kobe, was his guy as well. So the shoe was well deserved. We wanted to give him his flowers, and even some things that he's done in the shoe
already. Yeah.
I'm just like, these are some moments that reminds me of certain clips to where when you go look at commercials from years ago or even years, it's like, that's going to be a highlight film forever. And for him to be performing the way that he's performing, he's staying healthy, he's playing lights out. And you have to think that his team has not been fully loaded yet, with Jaren Jackson just coming back. They had a few injuries, and it's still, at least in the top half of the West. Everything is lining up to where, like you talked about before, Shark, and you keep saying it, it's about the athlete. And he's performing well. Now he has, I call it the mothership, the mothership now behind him with the signature shoe. And I'm happy for him, looking forward to it, and wanted to just detail the shoes overall. But of course, people are going to say, oh, here we go. It's a lower brand Kobe. But keep in mind, these shoes are retailing for $110 in men's sizes. So again, having the conscious, almost like, Kevin Durant did as well when he first got to Nike, was making sure the price point was low and so forth. But what he's doing in these shoes and how popular he's becoming, I'm just looking at what's going to happen when there is, a Ja 8 or a Ja 9, because he's starting off on the right foot, Shark.
Yeah, I meant, again, right off the right foot, like the shoes are working because he's already, he missed the dunks where he tries to jump over people, and then, you're less than a month into the shoes, and now you caught a couple bodies, so they give you the extra oomph, and the Ja 1s. But all jokes aside, like it was a rite of passage. It was earned, and to be honest, we shouldn't be surprised with the silhouette, because if anyone's paying attention to the actual Nike signature shoes that he was wearing that just weren't his. The Kobe's, the Durant's, especially the Durant fours with the strap.
Yep, that was the shoe.
Like that was his. As a matter of fact, like if I'm not mistaken, like Kevin Durant like tweeted like, "Man, I'm gonna miss seeing you in my KD fours or whatever." But congrats on the signature. So just like KD, look how conscious KD is of the moment. It was just like he knew that Ja helped elevate his legacy by sneaker legacy, just by keeping those fours alive.
Just FYI, it's rumored they're going to get retro next year. It's rumors now about the 4.
Yeah, we already got to know the 3 is coming back as well. But we might tell you that later because when we talk about all-star stuff. But just a little tease. But yeah, Ja, I mean, so I see a little Kyrie influence, but mostly Kobe. We'll got to get it in hand and put it on our foot to give you the full lockdown and experience and give you those details. But from what we see firsthand, like not a surprise, and he's going to put his touch on it. And you mentioned the key part is the price point. All right, and that's why I brought up Kyrie of the influence, because of the timing of him of Ja. Like Nike didn't waste any time for when they cut ties with Kyrie. Sounded like they were ready to cut it off anyway, and they want to keep it going, see what's going on. But then it was like abrupt stop. All right, enough is enough from their perspective. But then, because we've already talked about that, so you can go back to the episodes where we actually addressed the Kyrie situation in detail. But Nike didn't waste any time, and they come right back and confirm it. Whatever rumors about Ja, yeah, he is next. We're telling you he's next. Here's the commercial that is next. And guess what he also did? He unveiled the shoe with his beautiful, cute baby girl. So his daughter. So he even followed the family business consortium model with the Steph Curry and LeBron and the Nike family did as well. So we talked about that too in another episode. So there's a lot of elements here that we've discussed, but we just wanted to bring it together here because, again, Ja, he deserves it. I hope that he stays healthy. I think that that's part of it. But there was this thing like he might not be healthy and this, and this. And then you look at that draft because you mentioned Zion, and it's just like, so tell me again about health or for who again? Because again, other people, they didn't just jump out with the sneakers. So he earned his other, talking about Zion, he has signature shoes too, but, he wore the Jordan series because they kind of like put you in the Jordan shoe first and then they ease you into the signature shoes if they see fit. But just saw this coming with Ja. He's such a, not only a, box office person, that'll get you to buy that ticket or come, watch on TV. More Grizzlies games are on national TV now. They made it, if he doesn't get hurt, it's. I don't know if he's going to beat the Warriors last year, but, it was already going the distance with what they had then. And now he has more experience, so, I think the Grizzlies might be here to stay for a while as long as he's healthy. They got the young core. And again, it's that performance. You got to keep putting up the numbers and you have to keep winning, right? Because it's the performances in winning time that create the nostalgic moments, the memorable moments, and then you have the nicknames of the shot and the block and all, whatever it is, the dunk, whatever's going to be in his timeline for his legacy, it's coming. You're going to have poster moments in these shoes, and that's why you got one to capture that moment, and then in the business side, fit into the same price point that is the vacuum of where Kyrie just left, and you come right in, and then you're actually starting not where Kyrie left off, but near where Kyrie started in a $110, $120 signature price point. Kyrie went up a little bit, but he also had introduced takedown models. So we'll see if there's, we got some images of Ja's logo. He's already rocked a couple sweatsuits with his logo on there too. So just seeing what some accessories and apparel looks like. And I think we'll get to learn a little bit more about who Ja Morant really is when he gets to sprinkle in his personality in the colorways and whatever else we get to see.
Definitely. One feature of the shoe that I like, and I don't want to sound too elementary, but it seems like on the sides of the shoe, where your forefoot goes, where it's almost like he wanted to put a strap there, but the strap thing is done. But on both sides, it's almost like if it was a huge strap. So there's not a strap around the laces, if you will, but both sides almost have the elements of compartmentalizing where a strap probably would have been. So I really like that element of the shoe. And I'm dying to get a pair to try them on to see if there is any kind of significance in the fit of the shoe, given that material is right there. And if it actually feels like it could be its own, strap within itself, just not going all the way across the forefoot.
Yeah, it's probably, we got to get inside the shoe to see how the lockdown is of the tongue, or if it's like asymmetric, where it's covered, where it like wraps or anything like that, just to see, that'll answer more of that question with the clarity of how it was, architected, when you built it in its bare bones, just seeing what's connected to who, because sometimes that strap with the lockdown. But just to, prop bet, a strap probably may exist in the lineage of the line. You know what I mean? If he loved that Durant so much, the KD4, like, show me a wear test where there was a strap and then you took it away. You know what I mean? But I think they might try it sooner than later. But I think we're that mid to low cut is where it's at for all of this next generation. And Ja, he's young enough to and his face card is strong enough to carry it on, and actually people will want to learn about his personality and get attached to him even more. Again, he's in a small market, but you got to win more or perform to get on the national televised games. They're already going to flex him in, and he's earning it, and that's the great part about just seeing that growth from and maturation. So really think he's. I just hope that he stays healthy, and then we'll see where the line goes after that, because it could be, this is no shot at anybody, but you know what I mean, because having a signature shoe is a right of his own, you know what I mean, but because I say health because it's just like penny, like if we got you longer than I wanted to see the penny 9 and 10, but then there's the slow and steady wins the race with the Paul Georges. I feel like Paul George had a lot of steam in the first like 2 or 3, and it died off a little bit. I like the new model. I think that shows with what players are wearing on the court as well. I see a lot of Paul Georges out there. And Kobe's is always going to be Kobe's. And I think there's a lot of influence of all of those things. So with Ja wearing Nikes, for a lot of his life, I'm just happy to have him a shoe because we've criticized him a little bit. So we keep it real over here. We called you out, Ja. You didn't rock the 100% Kobe's once or twice. We let you know. We let everybody know, but we love you. That's why we still gave you props and said, if you don't put this man in some signature shoes, so you had to keep acquiring these old shoes and maybe from the wrong person, where one gets sprinkled in here and there, doesn't.
And you ball in them. You're not on the
unauthorized
playground.
authentics.
You're on an NBA court rocking these. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Exactly, because if something rock, you know what I mean, it's actually Nike that's gonna look bad, and you did that. So put that man in some authentics of his own shoe, and then let him just ball out. So really happy to see the gritty Grizzly do his thing, and just it's easy. Ja Morant, it's just he's going to become a household name if he isn't starting to already. Like I love like the jump with like LaMelo Ball. How he's attached to the youth and with his Puma shoes. So I think something similar in the draw will come in with the Gen Zers and really how they attach to the Josh shoe.
Because the thing with me in closing, Tony, is that it's the humility. And one thing that I was concerned about now with LeBron getting older, Steph getting older, of course, some guys are going to take the torch and some guys are going to get past the torch. And it's just good to just see someone like Ja, who came from Murray State, really nowhere, honestly, and really balled out and went to the combine. People were like, small school biscuit, whatever, this kid is legit. And with his dad, and now he's becoming a celebrity within itself and so forth. Again, you talk about the family conundrum. It's just good to see through everything how humble he's been. I think that's going to get him further along. And I really think that the brand is going to do extremely well. And then, like you just mentioned, he has so many examples to go by at Nike, starting with LeBron. Even want to go back even to Jordan, or even with Kyrie, honestly. I see his shoe potentially being the number one selling kid shoe. I just see that happen in the next few years because, again,
I see that. I definitely do. And then it was just like the way we were introduced to him. Like if you didn't know and you didn't follow hoops and you didn't know about Murray State and you didn't see him at the mid majors, like you caught that March Madness and then it never left. And so those things, because then you're rooting for. He's the guy you're rooting for. This guy.
True.
Like listen to us talk about this. You know what I mean? Like we want. Don't it sound like we want Ja Morant to win? Like it's almost like he deserves it. You look like you put in the work. The results show you keep getting better every step of the way. And like you said, his dad, he's got some personality and becoming a staple that the camera keeps finding.
Usher look alike.
Exactly. They actually did a thing where he was sitting next to Usher and they put him on the big screen too. So like just we see why you have this energy, this personality, and it can they got the right one. And I really think that it's all those things that will work. There have been plenty of other players that don't have personality. They don't make their signature lines don't go but so far, or they're not but so popular because other than what the brand like makes you do, like you're not really like selling it just by being like people want to consume a piece of you. You know what I mean? Like that's part of it. That people are buying these things because they're just like, I want to be like, you got kids that aren't good at basketball. They don't care about basketball, but they care about Ja Morant. And they just want to see him. They're not thinking about the game or what he's doing. Like he has that much power, and
influence.
And influence, so just, with all of that comes responsibility, and it seems like his upbringing and his work ethic, exhibit that he knows that what influence he has, and he's using that that responsibility, and he's carrying the torch properly. So let's just keep maintaining so that it doesn't, the fame doesn't ruin you in the end. But I think because we're still a little boisterous in our confidence, and because we're winning, but we ain't won the chip. You got to go through some Warriors and Golden State before we get there. But I love the confidence because you won't beat them unless you have that confidence.
And right now, it's some nuggets in Denver that got something to say too. So when you do all of that, overcoming those obstacles, that's the arc to your story. And you're starting your storytelling with your first signature shoe. So see how far it goes, especially in the playoffs, because that's where the legacies are made, are in the playoffs. So you got the signature shoe now. So let's get some signature moments on the court. So that we can cement that legacy, because that's when the kids is going to be pouring, and you'll be
number one in kid sales on the court. And I can see it now for back to school 23 and beyond. And just, Ja Morant, the next one it's here. Signature shoot.
Definitely, because if he does his job, he got the mothership behind him. They're going to do theirs. And we have literally decades of proof to show their marketing, their advertising. The mothership is behind them. So all he got to do is his job and the rest will follow.
Yeah. And that's why I say I can't wait, because he does his job, it sells itself. And then they come back with the tidal wave of that, where they poke you with the demand and like really hype it up, and then here comes some special editions and all that in between. So, the whole templates of what signatures used to look like at Nike and pairing LeBrons and Kobe's and KD's, like all that's over. You know what I mean? So there's not a lot of symmetry amongst the signature athletes and the ones that they have over at Nike. So that's why it's just like exciting. Not to say that all of that needed to continue, but it's just exciting to see where things are going, because like we know that we're about to learn a lot about of Ja through his shoes. So all stories that we don't know about, and birthdays and special moments in his own life. And
even the insoles, even in these, there's an edition that has basically a questionnaire just about him and on him. So
there's another one that just has like comments of things that people have said negative about him and that he's used for motivation is baked into some elements of the shoe as well. So like
personality showing.
Yeah, there's so many things, and so coming soon to the shelves, Ja Morant, but we get to see those moments on the court right now for the rest of the NBA season and playoffs. So show us what you got, Ja. We believe in you, and congratulations. So here's your just another episode, just breaking down some clarity over popularity, just because told you it was going to happen. It's here. And again, just submitting the first steps in the legacy. Ja Morant, Nike, Ja 1. There you go. So for the rest of the crew, T-Mark the Street Shark signing off.
And OGEO, peace to you.
All right. Peace out.